Good morning, everyone. I have a lot of new subs that are starting to request charts, so I need to make another video. I have a video already made, and I post the link in the description box below every video, but it's obviously not being used, so I'm going to make a new one to address this. There are 3 crosses at Golgotha, and there are 3 crosses in the heavens. And we've all been crucified, and we're all on one of those crosses, either mutable, fixed, or cardinal. And that actually means something. When I do your charts, let's go over here. When I do your charts, number 1, they're over an hour long. So it takes me quite a bit of time to do them. I have to film the video, process the video, upload the video, reprocess the video before I can post it. So it's taking me over 4 hours to do a chart. I can only do one a day. I only accept US dollars online. Only online. If you live overseas and you want to send foreign currency, you must first change it into US dollars. Or I do accept foreign currency through the mail. No problem. When using PayPal, you use my email address. Just use my email to access my account through PayPal. Then it must be sent as money to friends and family. I do not have a business account, and when you send it as a payment, I have to refund it. Otherwise, PayPal holds that payment for 21 days. Then they charge me a hefty fee, and then they turn it over to Nevada for taxes. So out of $100 in Nevada, I'm getting about 72 of it. And then PayPal and Nevada are splitting the rest for fees and whatever. And I can't, and then they hold the money because I don't have a business account. So money to friends and family only. If you're having problems with PayPal, I also accept Venmo. I accept money orders and MoneyGrams. Also MoneyGrams. I accept Western Union. I accept all cash and currencies through the mail. If you need to do it that way, just simply drop me an email and I will send you my address. Hopefully, I'll have a post office box this month, and I'll just be able to post my address. Now, when you do that, when you make your payment, I need you to send me one email with your information. Your birth date, time, and location only. No personal info. Don't tell me stories about yourself. I don't want to know them. I want the chart to speak for itself. I don't want to know if you're male or female. I don't want to know anything about you but when and where you were born. What day, what time, and what location. Charts are $100. They will be going up next year. These charts are, the more I learn, the longer the charts are getting. Some are an hour long. Some can go into an hour and a half, an hour and 45 minutes, depending on your retrogrades, especially if you're born under or have a Saturn return that lands in a retrograde. That needs to be looked at in several different ways because you end up with these, what I call split destinies or dual destinies, these forks in the road, and they're pretty serious. So some of these charts can get quite long, and I try to be as detailed as I possibly can because I know there's a great lack of information out there. I do the charts based on alchemy. Now, I know not everybody can afford $100 for a chart. A lot of the charts I do, you people are on fixed incomes. I understand that. So I accept installments that fit your budget. I let you decide. You can pay $50 a month. You can pay $25 a month, $20 a month, $10 a month. As long as it's sent as money to friends and family, I don't get charged for it. So no loss there. But I have no problem When you want to break it up in installments, you tell me I'm making my first installment. You send me your info, and I go ahead in good faith and do the chart on the first installment. And then I leave it up to you and Karma to finish the payments as fit your budget. I don't want anybody have to come off $100 and then not be able to pay a bill or buy groceries or whatever your needs are. I understand that. Myself, if I had to pay $100 for a chart right now, I couldn't do it. I have had a chart done before, and I paid $65 for it. It was 15 minutes long. All they gave me was, and this was from a YouTube astrologer as well, a sidereal astrologer, and they gave me a 15-minute audio that told me nothing, and the printout of a little chart that's done off of a computer. So really all they did was put my name and birthday in a computer program and push a button that prints out a chart. That's all they did for $65. I felt very ripped off. I don't do that. If you're looking for one of the little fancy wheels with all the lines and scribble on it that nobody understands, you're not going to get that from me. I use Stellarium, and we're going to look at the planet in the sign that it's in. We're going to talk about the sign that it's in your natal chart, and then how that progresses through your life. I'm not going to just push a button and print out something. I'm actually going to talk about each and every planet and how that affects you and what it means to you depending on the cross you're on, whether you're mutable, fixed, or cardinal. Like I said, we've all been crucified. We're all on one of those crosses. And I can't tell you the difference it made in my life to really begin to understand what alchemical astrology is. Saturn rules astrology, yet we're given solar astrology and lunar astrology. Solar astrology is who you are, but lunar astrology is how the world sees you. It's the difference between the inside and the outside. But Saturn rules astrology in Aquarius. He rules karma, the law of equivalent exchange, alchemy, and astrology. And that's what the entire age of Aquarius is about. It's about knowing astrology and the law of equivalent exchange. And it brings a whole new light to these charts. Nobody's doing what I'm doing. There are no books. There are no instructions. There are no computer programs. You just have to look at it at face value. And that's what I try to do. I also give you 4 books from the 4 previous ages. One from the age of Gemini, one from the age of Taurus, one on astrology from the age of Aries, and astrology in the Christian age of Pisces. There is not yet a book on astrology for the age of Aquarius. Maybe I should write one. The only information we have are, 1, the red words in the New Testament. It's talking about the kingdom that's coming. We all want that kingdom to be now, but it's not. We do not live in the age of Aquarius yet. But when we go to our churches and we expect to do unto others as others do unto us, that doesn't actually apply right now. We are in the age of grace. And the powers that be know this. When we come to the next age, it will be, everything will be based on karma, the law of equivalent exchange. You will reap what you sow. So these understandings we have about the age to come. And regardless of what culture you're in around the world, we hear stories of the golden age, the age when Saturn ruled. We're coming back into that. So we can look back at some of those tales and know what to expect when the golden age comes, or we can look at the red words in the New Testament. And that's really the only source of information we have when you're talking about moving into the age of Aquarius. But right now, like I said, we are in the age of grace. And it's running out fast. So don't forget to commit your random acts of kindness. You're going to need it. We all do. The world needs it right now. The more acts of kindness we can commit, it doesn't just help you and the person you're being kind to. It helps the whole world age. A world is an age, not the earth. There's a difference biblically between the word world, which is a timeline, and the word earth, which is a place. World is when, earth is place. So big confusion on that understanding there that I'd like to clear up here. All right, there you go. If you want a chart, want to know what cross you're really on and how to carry that cross, it's your burden. We're told to take up our crosses and follow Him daily, and that the cross is our burden. Well, also in astrology, you have a magic circle. You're either on the fixed, mutable, or cardinal cross, and you're either in a water, earth, fire, or air sign. You rule one of those elements. It's your magic circle. It's your magic element. And I go through all of it. The cross, the circle, every planet, and 2 Saturn returns. Saturn rules astrology. He rules alchemy. So when you talk about Saturn returns, they are the most important things in your life. When you say that Jesus started his ministry at 30 years old, that's his first Saturn return. That's the true age of accountability. You're no longer in the learning stage as a child. It's an initiation rite. It's a rite of passage in the tribal and the family setting. And then your second Saturn return is the payoff, because Saturn rules the old age and golden age and karma. So at the end, you have everything is done in a 29.2 year gap on how we progress in our life. We're starting to live a lot longer, but I'll leave the third Saturn return up to you. I show you how to use Stellarium, how to get your chart up on Stellarium, and what every planet feels like, and how it will affect you as it moves through the chart. So I'm not just going to push a computer button, do a printout. I'm going to tell you, I felt really ripped off after I got one that on YouTube from a guy, and all he did was send me the little round wheel of 15-minute audio that it was obvious he was just reading a script, right? It was nothing personal. I'm sure everybody that ordered one from him that was Capricorn got the same little tale I did, because it was simply just read from a book. I'm not doing that. I don't have a book to read from. There's not one. I have to go on what I know about alchemy, what I know about real astrology, and I know about all of them. Alchemical astrology, sidereal astrology, tropical astrology. I've studied them in every culture around the world. And I strip away the traditions of men. And if it doesn't follow the alchemy, I'm not going to discuss it. I leave that to you, and in the books I send you, you can look up and see what Saturn in Aquarius meant in the age of Gemini, or Saturn in Aquarius in the age of Taurus, and then the age of Aries, and the age of Pisces, and then you can come to a consensus. I do it purely based on alchemy, not on traditions of men. So I'm not going to read from a book for you. All this is coming out of my head. I wish I still had the library of books I used to have. I could give you references and show you where this is coming from. Out of alchemy, because alchemy is astrology. The zodiac is a magic circle, and you're in the middle of it. It's your magic circle. We're all in the middle of it. We all have one. We all have a cross, and we all have a circle. And we've never been taught this. We've never been taught how it affects us and why. And a lot of times, You understand, once you have the chart and you see why things happen, and you can see the test, that this is we're in school. That's literally how Saturn looks at it. Saturn rules education. Saturn rules these charts. Solar astrology, who you are. Lunar astrology, how people see you. But the bigger picture is Saturn. And it's his chart. That's why our schools are set up 1st grade through 12th grade. That's why. Everything's based on astrology. That's why there are 12 apostles, 12 patriarchs. It's everything is about astrology. But we're never taught any of this. And this astrology that I'm seeing online is not what I'm doing. All right? I've only had 2 people now come to me and tell me their charts did not fit them. One admitted to being a walk-in. I know what that is. I consider myself a walk-in. So I understand how the chart could not fit. But that was way long ago. And then I recently had another person tell me the chart didn't fit. Well, you know, when I first done my chart, it didn't fit either. Because it told me I was an astrologer. And I didn't really believe in astrology. I thought it was hocus pocus. A lot of what it was telling me, I was not in line with. And my life was a freaking wreck. But once I started applying it, and I realized, yeah, well, I reckon I am supposed to be an astrologer. It wasn't my choice. I opened my YouTube channel to teach linguistics and alchemy. I had no idea I would end up an astrologer. This is not where I saw my life going. But the chart said it was. And so it is. And so it is. I'm doing exactly what my chart told me to do. And my life is functioning much better now that I am. I have difficulties on a daily basis like everybody else. But before this transition happened in my life was a disaster. A disaster. Everything was falling apart around me. Everything was purged from me. And had I known about it previously, had I known about alchemical astrology, I could have navigated those waters much better. I would not have suffered many things that I did. I was rebelling when I should not have been. There are times that I went with the flow when I should have been rebelling. It helps to know when these transformations, these transmutations begin to occur on how we should act. This is what the chart tells you. And that's why we're told to take up our chart and follow him daily. Now, I am going to kick a little information again on all these retrogrades. A lot of the comments I'm getting, especially since mentioning about Alexis, of the depression that's going on. That is Mars retrograde. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. That's where he's the most powerful. So for him to go retrograde in Capricorn, that is major depression, major sadness, even to the point of suicide. And that's where you find that in the chart. You find depression, bipolar, all that is in a Mars retrograde. But to have Mars retrograde in cardinal Earth, that is a marker for suicide. So heads up to all of you. You need to know this information. That way you can watch out for yourself and your friends and family. Now, I've done charts for whole families, mom, dads, and kids. And when you do an entire family's chart like that, when you do everybody, the cohesiveness in the family changes. The bond becomes so much stronger. You get respect for each other that you didn't have before. When you're able to see yourself and then your loved ones for who they really are, it brings a whole new bond and dynamic to the family unit. You don't have to have arguments and fights and excuses anymore. The reason things happen are clearly shown to you. I wish I would have known about this as a child. My life would be very different now. I would have not suffered many things that I did. But this is all just being revealed to us as we move into the age of Aquarius and come out of the age of grace. Grace is fixing to be over. There'll be no more grace and mercy. You will get what you earn. The law of equivalent exchange, you will get what you give. You will reap what you sow. So while we are still in this time of grace, which is a time of forgiveness, grace is about forgiveness. It's very important that we follow that. And this is why the powers that be know they think they can get away with what they're doing. Because they know we're in the age of grace. And to be forgiven in this age, you must be able to forgive. You will be judged by what measure you judge others. That's how it's done. That's why grace and mercy is so important in this age. But as we move into Aquarius, as we move into the age of knowing, we are truly accountable. No more grace. Grace is over. Grace is over. When Christ will return, he rules with a rod of iron. My friends, that is Mars in Capricorn, a rod of iron. Mars in our root chakra as well, and our escalating emotions, and even depression. So everybody hang in there. You can go ahead and order your charts. Follow the little rules here. That way I don't have to refund your money in PayPal, and then we just go through this endless cycle before it gets done. All right, if you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment box below and I'll address it. And if need be, I'll make another video about the charts. But I'm hoping this one will do it here, that if you want one. And look, when I do these charts for you, I start from the beginning. I show you how to do it from the very beginning of turning on Stellarium. That way you can learn to do it for yourself. I want everybody to, to learn to do this for themselves. This is self-empowerment. Learning this was the biggest gift of my life. Everything I've ever been through, all the heartache, all the pain, everything, to know what I know now, it was all worth it. And I'll tell you what makes it even more worth it, is I get to share it with all of you. I'm grateful to YouTube to give us this platform. I hate the way we're all being herded around like cattle and censored, but we do have a platform to where I can share what I've learned with everybody. And I share the knowledge freely. The charts I do charge because it eats up a lot of my time. And I become emotionally involved in these charts when I do them. I'm actually channeling these energies. They talk to me. Mars tells me how I feel in Capricorn retrograde. And I know the sadness there. And I know what goes up must come down, right? It is action, reaction. That action, reaction. But we are learning, we are growing, and I continue to share. As I do these charts, they are following in patterns. It is the craziest thing, but from the beginning, certain charts will fall out of the line. That's something else I need to talk about real quick. When you send me your info, your birth date, time, and location, and I ask you, don't put anything else on that email. Because another reason, when you reply to this, when you send me this, I'm going to send you a responsive email that tells you I received your payment, I received your information, and then I give you a date that I'm going to post your chart. All right? If you respond to that email and just say thank you, I put it in a folder. But when you respond to it, it pulls it out of the folder, throws it back in the inbox. So when I mark it to put it back in the folder, it changes the order. You're moving yourselves around. So don't do that. When you send this email, don't respond to it. Do not reply to my reply. This email needs to be birth, date, time, and location only. And then if you need to talk to me about something else, start a new thread. Do not go on this thread. Okay? That way you do not lose your position. Because they're all dated, but I do them in stacked order. That way, first come, first serve. But when you reply, you're taking your place out of the order and putting it back at the bottom. You actually go to the bottom. So don't do that. Sometimes I find them, right? And I change it. And I put you back where you belong. But that don't always happen. Especially with my life being chaotic the way it's been. I'm a little well rested. I've literally slept almost 24 hours. Now I need to get up and start unpacking and getting things in order. I have company coming this week. One of my subs who's visited me before is returning. And you know, that's something else I need to say. I'm in Las Vegas for more reasons than one. But I'm starting to see clearly now. People come here from all over the world. It's the cheapest flight to anywhere, from anywhere in the world, is to and from Las Vegas. The casinos pick up most of it because it helps them bring people in. So if you want to visit Las Vegas, as long as you're not a big group, you know, one or two of you, you're welcome to stay with me. That way you don't have to rent a hotel room. And so if you want to come visit, you know, just contact me. Let me know. Let me know when you're coming, and I'll make room for you. I like all of my subs, right? I love my subs. I speak with many of you on a very personal level. We do emails. I've made personal videos for some of you just because I want to talk to you personally. All right. I think I've about covered it. Again, if you have any questions, if I missed something, left something out, I didn't answer some of your questions about the charts, then simply put it in the comment box below and we'll address that. All right. There you go. Now go commit some kindness. Let's make this world a better place, and let's not take no for an answer.